The second one is verbal communication. Now, this is the one we think about all the time, but have you thought about the fact that we all communicate differently? Some people are really loud, and some people are so soft you can barely hear them. You have to say, "Now, what was that? Can you repeat that?" Because they're so soft and tender, you can hardly hear them. So, I want you to think about yourself and I want you to think about your spouse. And are you both a little loud? Or are you just pretty normal? Or are you both soft? Those kind of things make a difference because somebody who's very loud can be obnoxious. Doesn't say they are, but they can be obnoxious. And if somebody who's really loud is married to somebody who's really soft, that tells a lot about their personality styles. And it can tell about the challenges and the troubles that they're having that they are not even talking about. They're not communicating about it because that soft spoken person is not going to tell you that there's a problem. And this is what I teach in communication secrets for marriage because we're so busy with ourselves that we're not paying attention to the other person. We're so busy with our kids and our work and our activities, we're not paying attention to the other person. Another thing in verbal speech is some are very fast and some are very slow in their processing. That means when they're making a decision, they're a little slow in their processing. They're going to take a little time as they think about what they're going to be saying. And then the other side of that coin is that fast thinking, fast moving person. They're always on it and they're on move, 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 go, go, go. There again, if you're married to your opposite and you're super fast in speaking and talking, then you're going to have a little trouble having the patience to listen to your spouse if they're very methodical and slow spoken. Another thing that's really verbal and causes a lot of trouble is some people are very direct. They tell you exactly what they're thinking. You're like, "Do I look good in these jeans?" And they're going to tell you, "Yeah, you do." Or they're going to be like, "Well, no, not really." Well, direct. And that kind of hurts the other person's feelings. And that's not the only thing they're direct in. They're direct in everything. But how about that indirect person? They're not going to tell you what they're thinking. There again, they're not going to tell you what they're thinking. And if there's a problem, they're not going to tell you. So, what are you supposed to do about that? That's where understanding the communication styles comes in. It helps people learn to listen, learn to talk, learn to pay attention where they need to, because some people are much more verbal and just tell it all. They just tell it all, and then others don't. It is the direct person. You're always going to know their needs, their wants, what's going on. But the indirect person is just not going to tell you. The third thing is visual. Now, this kind of goes back to the nonverbal or the body language. But the visual, you can tell when somebody is welcoming, acknowledging, and you can tell if they're repelling, like, get away from me. They don't have to say any words, do they? They can just kind of hold up their hands or they can scoot away and they're thinking, move away from me. Kind of goes back to the look, but that is visual and the things that we see. The fourth thing is listening. Yes, this is a big part of communication because if you are listening to someone, it shows them you like them, you're interested in them, they're important to you, and you're willing to listen. Now, this goes for your spouse, it goes for your friends, it goes for your kids, right? Learning to be a listener. Some people, it's easy, it's automatic, they're just a natural listener. And for others, myself included, we have to work on it a little bit. We have to pay attention that we're giving the other person their side of the conversation. And when we're listening, we're showing them that we are interested, we are respectful, and we are patient. And just overall, we care about them. So listening is important. So, how can we do better? We know what we do not know. We don't know what we don't know. That's what I mean to say. We don't know what we don't know until one day suddenly we know it. It's kind of like your eyes being open, you're awakened. You didn't realize you can't fix anything if you don't realize that there is a problem. So, how can we do better? Number one, we can monitor our attitude. I know about you, but whenever I have a bad attitude or I get up on the wrong side of the bed or I feel grumpy for the day, I'm going to spread that everywhere. I don't mean to, but it's just what you get. If I have a great attitude, I spread sunshine. If I don't have a great attitude, I might spread a little doom. Don't mean to. But your attitude is about how you think, how you act, and how you respond. And that's an important part of communication. Paying attention to, we think different, we act different, we respond different. And you're just not going to be the same. You think your spouse should think, act, and respond the same as you do, but they're not going to. So we want to learn to have a good attitude, to be open minded, and accept the differences between us. The second one is consider how you each show love. We all show love differently. We need it in a different manner. And sometimes it is as simple as understanding exactly what our spouse needs from us. And if you talk about that, you communicate about that, then you understand what that is for your spouse. For some, it is, hey, help me out. Whether it's helping me out at home or whether it's helping out your spouse as they get their stuff ready to go out the door. It's service. Help me out. Help me out with the kids. Help me out with the dishes. Of course, I'm speaking from the women's side, of course, right? But, there's a lot of things, for men, let's work on this together, and maybe, my husband and I were just painting upstairs, and a lot of women, just the man paints, like, the man takes care of the household things, and there are some households where the women like to paint, but my husband and I do it together because it's something I can do, and so we do it together.